For my good friends, they'll certainly know that I have the patience of a god. For everyone else, they'll simply have to guess. But slowly, this chamber has gotten up to temperature and pressure. I want to drive the pressure much higher. As the pressure goes up, so too will the conductivity overall. Have these... Maybe it's just because it's dumping so much energy down here, finally warming up the last drippings. Perhaps if it is dumping energy, I need to add more. That's funny, did it not? There we are. What's the pressure? It is high enough. It is high enough. Yes. No. I don't dare kick that on until I know that the system is stable, even though I know that these would contain a great deal of additional energy. Not until the system has gone stable. Oh, let me explain why this little guy is clicking on and off every so often. I've set up the, what's it called? The water lines in such a way. There we go. I've set up the water lines in such a way that when it's turned on, it'll always flood the entirety of this chamber here with the freshly cooled water before moving it off to the inside of this reservoir. After it's hit the inside of the reservoir and had a chance to thermally equalize, it'll move again through this large panel, which is responsible for pulling the heat not only out of this cool steam vent, but also from the entirety of the electrolyzer room. After it's finished, it'll run the last length of its run right underneath the here, before exiting inside of insulated pipes, and then traveling through these insulated tiles all the way back until it reaches once again the liquid reservoir. Now, the liquid reservoir, I've set it up. Originally, I didn't have any real idea what percents I would be setting it up at, but in this instance, I've set it up at 62 and 61%, which makes it such that when this liquid valve, which is restricting the flow rate to 1/2 the flow rate of a pipe, it makes it to where it takes longer for this to fill up than it can expend its contents, which is actually kind of nice in a sense, because it gives for an interesting pulsing effect, as well as a pipe that isn't always full of moving things. For all intents and purposes, I think it works well. I'm rather pleased with it. Let's see here. I'm not certain if I mentioned, but I did go through quite some effort to make sure that this last row of hydrogen generators was on a separate circuit entirely from the main load, and that was traveling all on its own, all the way up to the top, so that only those would be controlling these batteries, and these batteries would accept juice from only those. which I do believe is perfect. And then, of course, the 3 large power transformers. Save for the mechanized airlocks, which I just ran straight through, the potential load on this is actually like 600 watts lower. So it's, what, 1550? And then each side of the, what's it called? The gas pumps, their lines are 1920 apiece on a 2K wire, which means that I'm perfectly balanced out on 3 large power transformers, each one of them with its own dedicated power supply that's attached after the point in time of the break from the main line, with the electrolyzers being favored and given 2 batteries instead of just 1. May seem overly complicated, that and the water batteries and all of the other various backlogged batteries. Plus, once the time comes that I can show you this oxygen pumping through into this refinery for making, what would I call it? Excellent catalyst material. I plan on leaving this rock eventually. But not until I've finished with the last few little experiments. Very little ones.